Okay, so I assume if you've clicked on this video, you are interested in seeing what the problem is with the Joy-Con drifting and how it actually drifts in the first place. So what we're going to do is we are just going to take the whole thing apart. We're going to get into the stick and take the stick apart. So first things you're going to need a tri-point screwdriver like this. Now I have this magnet attached here because this isn't magnetized. I wish it was, but it's not. I might get another screwdriver in the future. I'm just gonna take these 4 screws on the outside off. Put those aside. If you are gonna be doing this, this is kind of another guide, I guess. If you are gonna be doing this, take pictures, because you will lose where screws go. It's pretty simple, but if you've never done it before, it might be pretty hard. Getting into the stick will be the hardest part of the entire job. That's going to be a pretty big feat to overcome. So we're almost out of here. There we go. Last screw. Let's get some prying tools. Let's get under there. There we go. That should open up like that. There we are. Now we are in the Joy-Con itself. So we have the battery connector right here. And then the rumble motor right here. You can, if you want, you can unplug the battery. All the other repairs that I've done for my other Joy-Cons, I haven't unplugged the battery. It's just one less thing to unplug. So I just left it plugged in. So you go under here on this little piece and you just push in with the spudger. The battery should just pop right out. There we go. Now I can push the battery aside. These pieces of tape, the double-sided tape that they used, it's really nice. I wish foam batteries actually use that, because foam batteries are a pain to get out. They use the strongest glue in the world, or the strongest tape, and you don't really need to. Okay, so the next pieces that you're going to take out, there's going to be a screw here, a screw here, 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 and here. I think that's about it. Now, yeah, okay. So that's it. Go back to your standard Phillips head, the screw right here. You're just gonna go take this screw out. They should be all the same sizes. I've only really taken apart the right one. This is the left stick. So this is my second time taking apart the left stick. So I'll just put my screws there. There are going to be some ribbon cables that you are going to have to unhook. Those are a bit of a pain. I don't like unhooking those. I just hate ribbon cables altogether. That should just pop out. Yep. Okay. Make sure these pieces here, do not let these pieces fly off, because the springs will go all over the place and you'll never find them again. Okay, so this is much easier getting at these ribbon cables. The other ones, the right ones, they're so hard. They put them in such an awkward position. Okay, so we're almost out there. And there we go. So this piece, you can just set it aside. You're not really going to need it. And okay, so now we have the stick here. This is our defective stick. And we're just going to unplug that. Let's get my spudger. And just pop that. There's a little hinge right here that you unplug. There we go. And then we get some tweezers. Just kind of go ahead and unplug that. let's actually use a different set. There we go. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's okay. There's another ribbon cable that we have to unplug. This one right here is going to be the one you're going to have to unplug. It's covering this screw here. So let's, there we go. We can just kind of pop that out. That should just come right out. There we go. Okay, you could bend that back a little bit. Maybe we can get to the other screws. Set those. These are all the same length, so these and these screws are basically the same length. So you can use either one of them, so you can put them together if you want, which is nice. I like that. I like that it's not a different size screw. In other phones that I've opened up, every screw is a different size, and it can be very annoying to keep track of them all. Okay, so now we have the stick. There's a little piece, you can see, there's a little piece right here. This piece here. This is a little bit smaller than the Joy-Con stick itself, so you kind of have to pull it out vertically, like that. And everything should just pop out. So yeah, now the stick is out. This is the defective stick, and you don't really have to worry about anything else here, so I'll just put the battery and everything. You can just move this aside, so I'm going to put this just over here. All we need is the stick itself, and that was the easy part. So if you thought that was hard taking apart the Joy-Con, well, now we have to take apart this. So this is going to be very difficult. I've only done this, I think, 4 times. I've only broken one piece of it once, and it was this piece right here. That broke right off, but I managed to make everything work, and the Joy-Con was fine. So let's get into that. You're going to need something to wedge this piece right here. You're going to need to get underneath that. And then you're also going to need to get underneath here. Be very, very careful. These pieces will often break off, and you do not want them to break off. You kind of want to be really gentle and not let them break off to where they stay on there. And then for these pieces right here, these little end pieces, you can see them, yep, right there. And then there's another 2 on here. These are holding down the sides of the Joy-Con stick or the bracket. So I use this. It's kind of like a dental pick, but it's pointy enough where I can get underneath there and kind of pry it off. Not completely, but make it just enough where I can slide this whole thing off. So let's do that now. Okay. Now let me see. I think, yeah, that's off. Okay. Now we'll just do the other side. When you are doing this side, make sure you go in between the 2 pieces of metal. Don't kind of go here. Go here. So you don't mess up the little clip piece. Because if you mess up that, you're not going to have a good time getting these back together. And there we go. Now I'm just going to see, are they completely off? Yeah. They are a little bit off. There we go. Yeah, okay. So they're good. Yep. So now we want to go from these sides here, right here and here, and we're going to get another piece. We're going to get this guy here, and we're going to gently pry these off. This may take a little bit of force. Let me just make these pop up a little bit more. There we go. Let's go over here and just kind of go up. Let's actually start over here. And you're going to want to pry it up a little bit. Up, 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 up. That's a little more, a little more. I think that's, see, it's a little more bent. I think that's pretty good. I feel like I could go a little bit more. I don't want to do it too much. Yeah. Let me just go on the other side a little bit. Okay, so that's good enough. You don't want it too much. You don't want to break anything. Okay, so let's go over here and do the same thing here. Just lift it up a little bit. And you kind of want it at the same angle as the first one. So this one here, you want it the same one as this one. If you did this one first, you want the same angle as this one. And vice versa. So let's just go a little bit more. The left side of this, or no, the right side is a little bent up more than I would like it to be. So, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm just checking the sides, seeing if everything is going to be coming off pretty nicely. Yeah, okay, so that should come off. Yep, okay, it's going to come off. Now this is where you kind of have to apply a little bit of force, a little bit of pressure, not too much. What we're going to do is actually go right here. You know what? I might actually go with, whoopsie. I actually go with this and just kind of poke it under. It's a little bit thinner. Keeps on sliding out. That's not actually what I want it to do. Okay, let's go with the other side. There we go. Now let's see. If we go in from the middle, right about here. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on from the side now. I haven't actually taken apart, like I said, the left Joy-Con. So it looks relatively the same as the other stick. So I'm not going to worry too much. Let's just... go. Man, these are a pain to open. I wish they were easier, but really, they're not that designed to be opened. At least they're not designed in where it just destroys itself when you open it. But this is like the longest part. I might even cut this part in the video and just cut to it opening. I think I went from the top. Yeah, there we go. Okay, hopefully I didn't wreck anything. This piece, it's really far down now. So now we're at the last stage of opening it up. What we're gonna do is, see how it's facing the camera right now? The stick is facing the camera. I want that stick to face the desk because there's a bunch of little pieces in here. And if it's facing the desk, this bottom plate is gonna fall off and all the pieces are gonna go everywhere. So we don't want that, and we want everything to stay snugly in there. There is a spring in here, funny enough. The original N64 controller had a spring in it to help it move around and stay relatively perfect. This one also has a spring, which is pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty funny when I opened it up. So now we're just gonna, I guess, start pulling, I guess. And yeah, so like pull from right here. And the piece should, there we go. Just pull off. And then the spring, like I said, fell off. So that, oh wow, there's actually a big piece of hair in there. That is interesting. Do you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is a big piece of hair in there. There's not too much. Let me just, I'm just gonna check it, see how everything looks. I might clean this, depending on how bad it is. Okay, so what I use when I have the stick like this, I get 2 Lego pieces and I kind of prop it up like this. So I'll just put these pieces over here, because we're not really gonna need this stick. These pieces are kind of magnetized to this little metal piece. Okay, so now we are going to see, I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, I can see some stuff there, but it's kind of hard to see. There is some dust on there. So this is where the problem occurs. These little black pads here, 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 and here. This is what sends back information to the switch telling you what position the stick is at. And when dust and other grime gets on these little pads, it sends the wrong inputs and it can drift. So that's how the problem is occurring. So even if you were to get some canned air, blow in the stick itself, that wouldn't actually solve the problem, because you're not actually targeting the root of the problem, and this is where the root of the problem occurs. So all that, I even read the comments of those videos and people are like, it's still drifting, it didn't fix itself, like what's going on? Why can't this thing be fixed? Well, this is the fix. You have to do this, or you can replace the stick. I was gonna do that, but I really wanted to see what was going on, and so I figured out what was going on. I figured out how to clean it, and everything. Like I repaired my other ones, and they were really bad. They were really bad, and I repaired it, cleaned it, and then it functioned like new. Functioned like nothing had ever happened before. So that was really exciting. I really like that. Okay, so we are gonna clean it now. So let me get. I'm gonna be using these kind of these kind of Q-tips, and I'm gonna be using these smaller Q-tips. And I'm gonna be using some isopropyl alcohol, some of this stuff. And I put it in a container right here, so it's right there. You won't need a ton of it, but just enough where you can clean them off. So when you are cleaning them off, I have wetted it right now. Use your hand and kind of just go like this to make it a little less watery, even though it's not really water. And then when we go upon these contact points, just go upon them, clean them. They should look gray. And you only need to go down there once. So one swipe and that should be good. I'm going to use the canned air just to dry them off. So yeah, you only need to go once. So just swipe and then swipe and then swipe. Make sure, just look at if there's any little bits on there. Sometimes I go on it twice, and you can even see, like, look at it will focus. Look at what it picked up. That's on your Joy-Con pad thingies. That's why your Joy-Con sticks are drifting, because there's a bunch of this black stuff on there that it's hard to see. That's why it looked gray. The camera might not pick that up, but that's what looked kind of gray. Is that stuff right there? That is gross and disgusting. So you can set that aside. You can throw it in the garbage if you want. I don't usually reuse them because that's just stupid if you reuse the Q-tips. So now we just have this piece. This is the, if you want to know where everything is, these are the 4 pads telling, sending back information to where the sticks are. These pieces right here are the ones that go and rub on the contact pads, which is pretty nice. I like all that stuff. That's pretty cool. And then this right here is the button. So when you press in the stick, that's what you're pressing, which is, I actually wondered how they got that to work. And it's just a little button like that. So that's pretty cool. The part that actually presses down is this part right here. That presses down on that little button right here. And that basically, whatever game you're playing, it does a different thing. Okay, so that is it for cleaning, taking it apart. Now, the fun part of putting it all back together happens. Yeah. So we somehow have to put this thing back together and not break it. This, the last thing, I might have already said this, but this piece actually broke off the last time I was repairing one of these. It wasn't that big of an issue because these pieces here and here actually held it into place and it didn't pop off, but you do want to be careful of this piece not really breaking off. The older way I used to do it, I had to break this off because it was really the only way I could do it. But now I figured out a different way that you can put this on. So what we're going to do is these pieces are slightly bent because we had to bend them to get the Joy-Con off, or the Joy-Con, this bottom plate off. So what you're going to do is you're just going to use your own fingers to bend them back a little bit. Not too much. I don't want too much force. Just a little bit, just to put them back at their 90-degree angle. You can even check that one's good, and that one's good. So these are all good now. I can put them back onto the stick. Another thing, make sure you put these back on correctly. Where this needs to be facing, this one here needs to be facing this guy. It needs to be on this guy because this is what clicks on this. So let us get it all back together, and then we will see if the sticks are drifting, which they won't be drifting. Another thing, you can use some double-sided tape if you want to hold this little piece down here. This piece is going to fall right off. I suggest putting the little piece of double-sided tape right here, as it's so farthest away from these pieces, because you don't want a little bump messing up the whole stick orientation. So this might even be a little too big. You might want it a little smaller. I use stick tack because I don't have double-sided tape. Stick tack works just fine. So this might be a bit of an issue putting it back on. Little stick tack piece, gotta get on there. There we go. Okay, now everything should be completely fine. And then I just press down a little bit. Don't put it under the button because that'll make the button mushy. So that's where I put it, right about there. Okay, so that shouldn't really fall off. That's good. Let us get to this piece. This is the hardest part, getting it back on. Taking it off is pretty hard, but getting it back on is even harder if you've never done it. So we're gonna go, how did I do this? We're gonna go like this. If you can see, there we go. There. I've kind of mastered this. Oh, make sure one of these pieces actually came off. It's gonna be, oh wait, no, it fixed itself. Yeah, okay, it fixed itself. Let me just check 1 sec. Yeah, it looks like it's on there. Okay, there is a piece. It's gonna be kind of hard to see now because it's all closed up, but there is a piece right here that sometimes can come off its little hinge, and that's not good. So what you're gonna do to get this thing back on is you're gonna push really hard. Yeah, you're gonna push, push, push. It will go on, don't worry, it will. It just takes some pushing. Okay, let's see there. I had the same issue trying to get the other ones back on. It just wouldn't go back on. That's why I can't really flip it around. But that's why this piece on the other side, I had to break it off because there was no other way of putting it back on. The new way that I created is a lot of force. So I'm just trying to make sure if everything is still, yeah, okay. Oh, crap, wait, before we do that, oh my gosh. That's why everything was so weird. Before we do any of that, that's not good. Okay, now this piece doesn't want to come off. That's okay. That's okay, we can fix that. There's a few pieces that fell off. I almost forgot. That was going to be an issue. Almost forgot to put the spring back on. That's probably what's going to help us here. There we go. Okay, now we can go back to putting this thing back on. That was a bit of an issue. Okay, so I got it back on, or partially on. Ugh, this is so difficult. I might just cut to when I get this thing off, because there's so much here. So much. There we go. I got it. Haha. Success. Clip those in. Let's push down. There we go. Test that the stick is running well. There we go. Everything feels good. Okay, so if you managed to do the same thing that I did and get it back together, I applaud you. That is very nice. This is very difficult. Actually, I used something different to clamp it down. Let's go here and clamp that piece. Actually, let's push that piece in for a sec. Okay, well, I guess I'll just push and clamp. Push and clamp. And try not to wreck it. Oh wait, I'm using the wrong. There we go. Now let's push and clamp. This is going to be a long video. Push and clamp. I don't think we're doing a whole lot of pushing. And that's basically it. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. Okay, so we have finished getting it all back together. It was a bit of a pain. I managed to pull through. The side pieces should have clipped in. Yeah, they basically did. Everything is clipped in. Everything works fine. The stick looks great. Now let's get the other piece back in here. This guy. And we'll see if it works. So let's go back in and put this back in correctly. Make sure to go on a little bit of an angle. There we go. Kind of gonna have to push it in. Let me screw it in before we do anything else. This was another great repair. Well, repair slash cleaning, because I didn't replace anything. I just cleaned stuff. Important stuff. There we go. Now that is back in. We can push this little guy back in. Right here. That guy goes back in its little piece. Come on. Come on. Get in there. There we go. And the struggles of ribbon cables. Such a pain. Okay, yep, it's in there. Okay, good. Now the other ribbon cable. That should be a little easier. There we go. Drop that door down. Come on. There we go. We got that one clamped in. Now, I think that's it. We can get this piece here. And this one, ooh, this is gonna be really easy, I guess. Let's go in from the bottom. Or, where does it? Wait. Okay, yeah. I thought it went in from the other side. I don't know why I thought that. Let's use these ones. There we go. That was fairly easy. I don't think they go in anymore. Is that as far as they go? I think it is. This image is a little tilted. Sorry if it is a little tilted. Okay, yeah, I don't think it can go any farther. So, we can test the button inputs, but I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. Okay, everything is plugged in. That's good. Now we can let this rest on here. There we go. The next set of things you're going to have to hook in, or screw in, not hook in. Screw in is, oh, this thing is tilting again. Is these side pieces here. My magnet has slid down to the bottom. And boom. That's coming in right here. Someone is honking outside. Turn it down. Okay, so now let's screw that into that. And this last one into here. Okay, there we go. So now all we have to do is put the battery back in. There's no antenna that we have to worry about. And make sure it shuts all nice. Get everything aligned. There we go. Okay, so now the last piece of screws we have to put in are these 4 screws here, and then we should be good. You also have to switch to your tri-point, just like in the beginning of the video. And screw these back in. Boom. That one's fixed, or that one's in, not fixed. And let's get the other one in here. Whoopsie, oh my gosh. Camera has moved. Back. Wow. Okay, now the other one's on this side. And you should be done. We'll test them in a sec. Oh, kind of fell out. Okay, last screw, and then we'll see. Will they drift? Will they not? I think we already know the answer to that question. And that screw is in. Okay, so there is our Joy-Con. It is completely fixed. It looks brand new. The stick should stop drifting. Let me get my switch, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back. Let me just swap out this Joy-Con right here. Let me put the camera up just a sec so we have a little bit bigger of a viewing angle. Let me turn down the light for a sec. Let's slide in this Joy-Con right here and this Joy-Con right here. Let's turn the camera a little bit. There we go. Okay. Oh, that made things worse. There. Okay, so everything is ready. Let's turn on the switch. Let's go into settings. Right now it's controllers, stick. So this is the one that was broken. Look at that, goes back to the center every time. The stick is fixed. So if you do this correctly and you don't break anything, your sticks will not drift. Well, so the what's gonna happen is your sticks will drift eventually. No matter how much care you put into taking care of your switch, it will drift eventually. It's the way they've designed them where there's going to be some micro dust that always gets on those black pads and it will always drift no matter what you do. So if you want to make your life a little easier and you just want to replace your Joy-Con sticks each time, you can go ahead and do that. They're only $9 online. I've felt that this is the best way for me because I don't really have to replace anything. I don't have to wait for shipping and other stuff like that. It'll just come right away. So that's it for this video. Yeah, it might be, the camera angles might be off and everything else, but I just wanted to get this video out here because I hadn't seen anyone else do this thing, and I figured this out yesterday, that the problem was occurring on these black pads. So I hope maybe someone else will make a better video than what I've made, because I just want to get the word out there that I kind of found the problem. I found out why Joy-Con sticks are drifting, and well, I hope you guys enjoyed. It was really fun. There were some hard parts in there where things started to fall apart, but I got everything to work, and the sticks function like normal really well. I really like it. So I really like how everything turned out, and I think I've done this on all my Joy-Cons now, so none of them drift. That's really nice. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.